In a small village, a heartbreaking tale unfolded, one that left hearts heavy with sorrow. The tragic story of Nina, the cat, began just a few weeks ago when an animal protection organization received a distress call that led them to an unimaginable scene. The village, normally tranquil and serene, harbored a dark secret within the confines of a dilapidated farmhouse. As the rescuers entered the premises, the stench of neglect and despair hung thick in the air. Small cages, caked with filth, lined the walls, each containing imprisoned birds with vacant eyes that mirrored their suffering. However, the true horror lay in the sight of Nina, a once beautiful cat now reduced to a pitiful existence. Chained to the wall in a neglected, filthy room, Nina's face wore an expression of agonizing defeat. Her eyes, once filled with the curiosity of a kitten, now stared emptily into the abyss of her misery. The rescuers couldn't fathom the depth of her suffering. Nina was liberated from this nightmarish prison, and her tormentor was swiftly handed over to the authorities. The farmer attempted to justify his cruel actions, claiming he had chained her as a kitten to protect her from the dangers of passing cars. But the truth was far more sinister than his feeble excuses. When they found Nina, she lay in a tattered cardboard box, emaciated and in excruciating pain. Deprived of food and water, her world had been confined to the limits of a tiny space. Her limbs bore the scars of a decade-long struggle, and her spirit seemed to have faded away. Veterinarians who examined Nina were met with a heartbreaking diagnosis: severe dehydration and kidney failure. Her body, ravaged by years of mistreatment, could no longer endure the toll that had been exacted upon it. Despite the efforts to provide her with the care she desperately needed, Nina's time in the clutches of suffering had taken its toll. Nina, freed from a decade of captivity, couldn't revel in her newfound liberation. A few days after her rescue, she succumbed to the weight of her pain, leaving behind only the echoes of her suffering. The injustice and cruelty that marked her life were a stark reminder of the depths of human neglect. Her fate was unfair and cruel. Nina's story makes us wonder what defenseless creatures can face. We must strive to ensure that every living thing on this planet experiences love, care, and safety so that such stories never happen again.